right, everybody, gather around. This is gonna be a long one. I mean, there's no secret why we're here. At this point, you guys pretty much know we lost two of our top defensive lineman commits, and things are just from the optic standpoint not looking good. But before we get to the doom and gloom, man, let's just say this: we will get our guys, right? We definitely, I trust the staff that we will get our guys. But I mean, I understand what it looks like from the optic standpoint, but let's we had a couple hours to bring it down a little bit. um, I mean, you guys probably tuned in to USCJ earlier. It was very a little outside of his norm. It's frustrating. It's extremely frustrating to see uh, you know see what's going on from the standpoint, because we know how hard our coaches are working, and for the other half to not follow through on what they're supposed to do is extremely frustrating. So yeah, man. Before we get into it, introduce my guys. To the right, we got Blackie Chan of Blackie Chan Gaming. Make sure you go follow him on Twitch. And right at the bottom, we got Mr. from the stands, Gunnar Atterbury. And popping in right here, we got King of LA Streets right here,
Mr. Late.
Oh, Mr. Late. He's taking a slap happy approach, man. So, but yeah, man.
What can I say?
What can you say?
Yeah, what can you say?
It's better late than never, guys. Come on.
I guess.
That's how we're gonna have to take the recruiting approach. All right.
Right, maybe. Hope it doesn't go that way, but guys, what you got, man? What are your thoughts?
I mean, like you said, the optics are bad, and a good phrase out there, which is obviously not good, but perception is reality, and the perception is that we're losing recruits left and right, and that's basically what everyone's thinking. So it's not good. But I'm excited to kind of talk about certain stuff, topics, West Coast, non-West Coast. It's interesting after looking into some data, so excited to talk about it.
Right. I'll say, like I told the guys earlier in our group chat, make sure you guys get your memberships too, man, so you can be in our group chat, so you get all this stuff. But I was telling them China. I mean, the fact that Coach Henney is a first-year college coach and he's still able to pull these top guys says a lot. Whether they sign with us or not, it just says a lot. And they still got to see it, though. You know what I mean? There's a lot of kids that still got to see it. And right now, it's become very easy to negative recruit us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Over the past couple of years, especially on the defensive side.
With that being said, all the other coaches and all the other programs, this is gonna be your last year. You guys could do that.
Yep.
Yeah, it might work for them this year, but after they see the product on the field and what Coach Danton Link could do, and Henney and Belk and all them, Ants, Nua, it's gonna be a problem for the rest of the college football world. Right now, yeah, we're a little down. I understand that the brand took a little hit, but we'll be all right. I mean, it's not surprising that we lose 2 5-star players from Georgia. Like, if it was California, then I'll give you, like, all right, maybe it's time to panic. But it's Georgia players. So we're going to be all right. At the end of the day, it's just 2 players. 2 players don't make or break the program.
Right.
So yeah, does NIL need help or some tweaking? For sure.
Yeah, we'll get to that. That's a whole discussion in itself. But
I don't think it's our recruiting that's the issue. I really don't. It's other things outside of what the coaches control.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. But I mean, some of these players are going to be driven by NIL, and I guess I can't blame them. And there's going to be other players that their focus is development, and maybe a dream school, and it's all right. I mean, players are going to pick whatever they think is best, and I'm not concerned or too worried because at the end of the day, we have good coaches, and good coaching always trumps talent, in my opinion. Unless you have both, then obviously you know that team's always going to, for the most part, come out on top. But a 3-star could be developed to become a 5-star,
Exactly.
But it's not
and
like, but if these talents that we're losing like right now go to Georgia, that's not good because they have good coaching and
no,
development.
I get that. That's what I said. If they have both, but I mean, we can't lose anything we never really had, right? At the end of the day, they were just committed players that we never truly had them.
Yeah,
So I still believe in the coaching staff that we have. I mean, as much as I dislike some of the Utah fans, they're not out there getting blue chip prospects left and right, and they're always put a pretty solid product on the field. And why? Because they have a good coaching staff. So I think we'll be in a lot better position than a Utah will. And if Utah could do that with the type of program they are, just with the players or coaches that they have, I mean, they don't have everything that LA has going or in USC has going out here. So it's just a matter of time. So for all those fans out there that are panicking or stressing over it, yeah, it kind of sucks that we lost 2 5-star players, but we'll be all right. At the end of the day, we have the coaching staff that's going to help us, get to where we want to be at. And I
Right.
truly believe in the staff.
Yeah. So as far as Isaiah Gibson, right? I would never be mad about missing out on an edge. Like I told USCJ when it happened, I'm like, man, edges grow on trees these days. I mean, everyone plays edge. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, they're pretty easy to find these days, man. I mean, if worst come to worst, we convert a linebacker. So I'm not too worried about the edge position.
yeah.
But
If,
interior
if you're
guys,
if you're 6'3", 6'4", and weighing 240, you're edge.
exactly. So we got a lot of tweeners on the roster already that could easily play edge.
Yeah, and we have Cam Fountain. We have
We're stacked at the edge position
yeah.
for a little bit, so I'm not worried about that. But the interior is,
That's the place that I was more affected by Justice Terry than Isaiah Gibson.
right. But Chris Arledge brought up this point earlier. If you guys watched,
I've yet to watch it. I've wanted to watch it.
yeah, he said, imagine. I mean, there's no way that during our run when Pete Carroll was running things, that Georgia could have plucked a SoCal, a 5-star SoCal guy. You know what I'm saying? And that's essentially what we're trying to do right now. We know Georgia's on top right now. They're on top of their game, and it's it's very difficult to pluck a kid out of the home state when the home school is popping. You know what I mean? When the whole school is up, like I can play top level ball and be developed with a great track record of developing D lineman right here in my own backyard. That's kind of hard to compete with. So I mean, it's almost mission impossible. So just the fact that we even had them at a point says a lot. You know what I mean? Especially with with us not really having a proven staff yet. It still says a lot.
And it
So,
took NIL to get them out.
right.
If it wasn't for NIL, I could pretty much, not I can't guarantee because you never know, but we would have had a really good chance of keeping possibly both committed. But obviously NIL played a big role on the decommitments from these 2 players, I believe.
Exactly. Well, now that we're talking about NIL, man, let's go ahead and roll the sleeves up, man. It's starting to get real.
Well,
So real quick, do you want to just talk about it kind of goes into, it talks obviously the NIL, but so 4 years so far that Lincoln has had a recruiting class, including this year and the 2022 class. He's had 37 out of 20 or 37 out of 66, from West Coast. That includes Hayden Trader. He is a Colorado kid, but obviously that's just one. So I just wanted to include him. But the first 2 years, 22 and 23, 72.7% were West Coast kids. Now we get to 2024. We go down to 40.9%. Now, why is that, right? Other factors. NIL didn't want to commit right away and go through. Probably, like, obviously, there's different situations for all these players. But, I mean, in 2024, we were looking to get potentially a Zabian Brown, an Aiden Breland, a Kingston linebacker, right? Braden Baker was potentially one. Jericho Johnson, Dakota Fields. Like, we are trying to target these kids, but these kids at the same time don't want us because of other factors of not just relationships and coaching staff. Obviously, we had the past coaching staff, which factors into that as well. But to me, it feels like the staff is trying to recruit the West Coast kids. It's just there's been obviously multiple hurdles with that. So just kind of wanted to express that and let you guys know kind of from the number standpoint. And hopefully things can change, you know, the factors that the staff can't have no control over, right? NIL, other factors. So hopefully things can change.
Right. So with that being said, man, what you just said that last line, man, the staff, it being out of their control. It's like I said, we had the time to roll the sleeves up and get real. So
We just got to keep it professional.
it's ridiculous and it should never happen. And at this point, it's like, how long can we expect to hold on to the staff if our NIL ain't doing their job? Because the staff is busting their butts time away from their family. I mean, a lot goes into recruiting these players, man. And a lot of time is spent on the road, traveling, being away from your family. And to be slapped in the face because the other half ain't doing their job, who's going to stand for that? For, you know what I mean? How long are they going to stand for that? You know what I'm saying? So that's the fear right now. For me at least, it's like Lincoln gets fed up and like, look, man, this ain't what y'all promised me, man. I came here because y'all told me we'd have top NIL. You know what I'm saying? And he's going to feel like what, some of these players are feeling. So, I mean, let's be real, man. HOV and the rest of you collectors, y'all are failing us. And it's not fair to us fans. We're probably the only program that has the fans donating. Not the only, but, we're not very many. And we're still not, NIL is still not doing what it's supposed to do.
Well, I was talking to Gunner about this. And I mentioned, USC is a business school. And what are they known for? Doing good business deals. NIL is not a good business deal. So I don't know if our boosters are going to want to donate to the type of way that all these other schools boosters are doing, because it's a waste of money. It really is.
No, they're giving tax write-offs.
I mean, yeah, you don't need $2-3 million in tax write-offs, and that's just one player we're talking about. Imagine keeping a full roster. That's a lot of money being spent.
So
if
then
you
why
really
you
want to
join House of Victory? Why are you even with it? If you're not here, why are you in House of Victory if you're not willing to help the team win?
I mean, yeah, can NIL collectives do a better job and just form one collective? Sure, but I mean, it's going to come down to boosters as well. Like if we had the boosters, I don't think HOV or whoever the NIL might be would have struggled keeping these deals down. We probably just don't have the boosters willing to put in that type of money.
Well, I mean, we were told that we have more now than we ever had.
Yeah.
So obviously somebody's been donating, but what I'm saying is they're going to be asking, like, hold on, man, I gave you guys enough that we should be lending these players. Why aren't we lending these players?
And keep in mind, there's only two players that we're talking about here.
Absolutely.
Right now, it's Terry and Gibson. For all we know, it could potentially be better. It might not be as good as we thought it could be, but it might not be as bad. So it's a wait and see game and see how the class pans out. I feel like if the team shows out throughout the season, which I truly believe they're more than capable, and I feel like they are, I think our recruiting class is going to be a top recruiting class. I'm not saying we're going to be the top recruiting class, but I think we'll have a solid recruiting class to keep us going for next year, and we'll see.
Yep. Jordan Captain, where the heck have you been, man? You haven't seen your name in a while.
I know, right? Letting you guys borrow Caleb Downs.
And we're getting the secondary, man. We don't need to borrow nobody in the secondary. Believe that. Our secondary will be elite this year. You heard it here. So buddies over there in Columbus, they got some comp in the secondary for be the best in the Big Ten. But yeah, man.
Yeah, to go into more, I mean, there was talks of supposedly Rick Caruso kind of being like the leader, kind of streamline things. I don't know if that's happening. Like, it's just a lot of things that we were informed by our insiders. Shout out to them, but it just seems like we're starting to really find out the realization of what is going on. We don't have somebody streamlining this. Seems like all the different collectives are still kind of doing their own thing, and it is communication is probably very bad, and that's not good for any business, not just a collective and NIL. So communication needs to get better, obviously, and hopefully, things really do change quickly.
Right. So regarding that, man, I asked a former player who I won't name about that, and he basically told me things will likely get worse before they get better in that regard. So, at the time I didn't really understand, what he meant, but now you're kind of starting to see, you know what I mean? So like, it's frustrating, man. It's
My question is, what is Lincoln Riley doing about this too? Like, he can talk to House of Victory, can he?
Right. I mean, I hope he's at least like at least expressing his thoughts. Like, I don't know what else he can do more. Right. I just hope he's really pounding the table and saying, "Hey guys, we really need to fucking figure this out." Right. We got one F-bomb. So yeah, hopefully
about it too. Like, not say like do illegal stuff, but just say, "Hey,
right.
Why are you guys dragging your ass over here?"
Exactly.
But that's the type of conversation that needs to be had offline, basically, like behind closed doors.
Yeah, of course. But I just hope he's doing that behind closed doors. I hope he's stressing how important NIL is. Like, this is not college football 5 years ago.
Sir, go ahead and elaborate on that, man. What do you mean? I don't understand that one.
I just think what he means by that is like, how he's always trying to put a positive spin on things. Maybe.
Yeah. Like if we lose one guy, we have 100 people lining up. That's not
that kind of thing.
You want him to panic in front of everybody in public?
I know, yeah, but he just needs to. Well, like, he can say that all he wants, but he needs to show more. Like, he needs to be more assertive behind the scenes to these people. To the donors, like, if he's just literally saying, "Oh yeah, if we lose one person, then we'll have more people," but he's not doing anything behind it, and just saying that, and he's actually living that, then he's not fulfilling what he should be doing as the head coach.
Well, listen, there's coach speak and there's reality.
Yeah. I hope reality is different than what we're seeing.
He's not going to freak out on camera.
Oh yeah, I know that for sure. I just hope he's putting pressure behind the scenes. If he's not, and he's still being just non-callous about it and not worrying about it, then that's an issue.
Right. Well, this is why we're here, to put pressure on our collectives as well. It's why we're having the show right now. We normally don't come on Wednesdays, but I feel like it's important for us, the fans, you guys and us, to get on our collectives, because this is embarrassing. It's embarrassing, and it's not going anywhere. I mean, we're all sick and tired of having hurdles. We know that we should be on top of our game. We were just here less than a month ago telling you how we check every box, just to find out that that's not the case.
Yep.
So it's just we're tired.
we dropped a video saying that NIL is going to be different for USC, and it clearly isn't.
Right.
Do you want to talk about Jordan's comment here?
Yeah, go ahead.
Jordan says, let's say USC improves on defense this year, but only marginally. What would you do to your opinion? Or what would that do to your opinion of Riley as a head coach?
Wow. I mean, I've obviously got to see like what transpires. But let's say it's a fully healthy team and we have most of our guys. Obviously, he didn't adapt and adjust his practice habits. It seems like, I would say he was mostly doing the same things, and to some degree, Lynn and Henny weren't assertive enough, I guess, to push on him and say, hey, we need to do this XYZ more to be better. I mean, I guess that's my first thoughts if that were to happen.
Yeah. Be real with you, Jordan. The likelihood of us just being marginally better, yeah, no. I think we'll be a lot better, man. Our defense that we have right now, although we didn't do as well as we thought in the portal, we still look pretty good.
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean? And there's things that we can do to supplement, but we got some guys that we just don't know yet. You know what I mean? We have guys, they're just question marks right now as far as the interior.
Yeah,
So,
we have Bernardino Vega, our first member, saying, as bad as the defense we had last year, I can't see our defense being at least top 30, 40 even with the current roster.
I can.
I was going to say that I think we're going to be top 40.
Yeah. At
Personally,
least.
because we have a good, like I said, good coaching always trumps, talent out there. You can have great talent and have bad coaching, and the lesser talent is going to come out victorious most often than not.
I would say, yeah. I mean, like, try to compare UCLA's roster that first year when Lynn came in, like, not better than ours, right? So if he can make a 70 jump in spots or whatever rankings, if he can make that high of a jump, I mean, with better talent, he's gonna have he's gonna have a big jump and improvement. Like,
the only concern is the depth.
Yeah.
That's the only concern. Like, if we can stay healthy, I think we're gonna have a really good defense, in my opinion, because we have the secondary, we have linebackers, we have a line. I mean, it's just thin in terms of depth, and then we have the coaching there. So I really think we're gonna be solid this year, and it's gonna help out with recruiting in future years coming up. But I really think that we'll be successful.
I just think that, of course, our depth is not great. And that's the one area that I'm the most concerned about is our run defense when it comes to having the big bodies on the line. I feel like we can get a lot of pressure with our edge rushers and all that stuff, but who are we going to have? I know we have some incoming freshmen, but they're freshmen. Like, we still need help for Bear. Bear is going to be double teamed, triple teamed, if we don't have someone that's going to be his Robin next to him.
Hey, listen, I hear, but yeah, I would say Gavin. Y'all sleeping on Gavin?
Yeah, I know, but it's still depth.
Huh?
Still depth. Like, he can't be on the field all the time. Same with Bear, so we still need that rotation.
But we got Carlon coming in. We don't know what he's going to turn out to be.
Yeah, but like I said, they're freshmen.
You have a coach like Coach.
We got Kobe Pepe. Like,
exactly.
he hasn't had a good coaching staff.
Exactly. Listen,
and you don't know what the players that we have could do. I like I said, it comes down to coaching. Kobe Pepe might be I don't know, a 2.5-star, 3-star, however you guys want to see him. And with Coach Lynn and with Coach Henny, he might be a 4-star type of player. He might not be an all-star, but he might just do enough to make a play or two and just get the job done.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know. But listen, there's always going to be, when you have a elite coach, there's always going to be a player that no one else is expecting that's going to rise up, that just needed that little bit of coaching. Just needed that little bit of edge, that little bit of development. You know what I'm saying? obviously these guys were recruited because they were good enough to play at this level. You know what I mean? But to start at this level, they just need a little fine tuning, maybe a little technique. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it'll be
I
something
mean,
we weren't expecting. Like, oh shoot, look at
it's
this.
still unknown though.
I've been saying that for a year now. There's going to be some guys that were probably buried on the depth chart with Grinch's sorry self.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, it's like Grinch was lining up players, like good 5-6 yards on 3 and 2, or whatever it was. I don't
Exactly.
think we're gonna be having that issue with the current staff. And yeah, we might not have a huge nose tackle or anything like that, but we have other players in other positions that could potentially be disruptive and just create some type of confusion. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy because it's not. Ultimately, you do need those type of players to be more successful. But I do believe in the staff, and I think we're still heading in the right direction. 2 players, we lost them. I mean, they're Georgia players. One of them, I'm not shocked off. Gibson, we kind of saw that writing in the wall. The one that was a little bit more of a surprise is Terry. But other than that, I still think we're in good shape.
Yeah. Quick side note. It's a little off topic, but Kendrick Lamar's concert is going on right now. And I'm going to tell you right now, the city is up, man. Carter, where you at, man? The city is up. It's cracking right now. And so we're going to get some, like I told you guys last episode? I told you guys how there's going to be a shift in the entertainment industry and how it's
Yeah.
And going back, I don't think Kenny's so worried about size. Is basically what I'm trying to say here. I mean, his nose tackle last year was 285. Kobe Turner, like he's not a 300-pound guy. Like, and a lot of the defenses I mean, I'll look again, but I don't think a lot of them had multiple 300-pound guys. They're probably like closer to 290, 285. Like, I don't know. I just feel like, with the coaching and the scheme that we have, that he can teach these kids on, how to do stuff still. Like,
yeah, listen, I'm very high on Carline, man.
Yeah, I mean,
I started checking, what did you say, weighed about 315 or something like that?
Yeah.
he's already in the 3+ for sure.
Exactly. Coming in, he's already in 3+. And the kid is explosive, man, if you watch his film. So he's going to be a dog. It's just a matter of when for him.
Yeah. How long will it take?
But it's going to happen.
And then you can tell he has a mentality in him. Like he wasn't highly recruited at first. He was underrated, and he had that dog mentality and be like, nah, I'm not gonna let that bring me down. He has that mental toughness. In other words, what I'm trying to get at. You can be 300, 330, and you can be as soft as a bear, and not have that dog mentality. I've seen grown ass man get knocked out by a little short guy. So it's that mentality, being mentally tough, and with Coach Henny and all them, I really do think we'll be in a good spot.
Yep. That's what I'm saying. I mean, exactly. It's just a matter of when for Cam too. Cam is going to be a dog.
Like having all that muscle, just because you have muscle doesn't make you a good fighter or anything like that, or tough. Like you can have all that muscle and you can hit soft. You can have pillow hands.
Yeah, man. Ain't no gym ever win no fight, man. So
yeah,
ain't no set of weights ever win no fight. We've seen that. But yeah, man. Listen, we're not in bad shape as of right now. There's still guys out there. I mean, even we still got guys coming on campus. We still have some that silently committed, from what we're hearing, that can get the job done. They're not 5 stars, but they're ballers. I mean, don't let these I told you, we tell you this all the time. Don't let the star ratings fool you guys. You know what I mean? We're gonna get our guys. Henry's gonna get his guys. So we're good.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it just opens some more spots for these recruits. I mean, that's how I would look at it from a recruiter's mindset. So, oh man, that sucks they lost them, but hey, now I could fully go in if I had any hesitancy. So yeah,
And I'm all for it, man. Like I've been saying, I want more California players. Like I want it to be like 70, 80% California talent, and then only pick and choose from nationally of who we want.
Well, yeah, that's how we did it. That's how we've always done it.
Yeah,
Um,
Cal,
I will say,
California down.
yeah, I will say, man. Right now, the West Coast is kind of down. As far as talent, more than we've seen in probably ever, man. It's not a good year for on the West Coast, which is for a number of reasons. We don't, some people say because everybody's moving from the West Coast, but we'll take a deeper dive into that in the coming weeks. We'll be joined by USCJ. We'll take a deep dive into our local recruits and local recruiting. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. But yeah, right now, man, from what I'm hearing from coaches that I've spoken to around the area, around Southern California, they all pretty much agree. Like, yeah, as far as talent, man, we're down this year. But next year, we got some 26 guys that are very talented. But as far as 25, man, this class is not what we're used to as far as talent.
Yeah, and in particular, inside D line, it's it's definitely lower compared to like past years, right? In Cali, it is interesting. I would say potentially why we're not going over like a Josiah Sharma. He's from Folsom. We kind of have a little pipeline, I guess you could say there. Not really, but he is that is a California kid, right? Obviously, you could have that. He doesn't want to come to the south of California. Who knows? But I would say that's probably the one that does, intrigue me and makes me wonder. So,
Right. So Carter says we got to get Trajan Odom and Marco Jones. Let's get. I mean, we have an advantage for Trajan Odom. We know he's from here. He's from Inglewood. He's currently playing ball in North Carolina, but he's a home kid. So that would be a great get for us.
and then Marco's a Cali kid, so
Yep.
there we go. We're not. He's not a non-West Coast kid, and then obviously Jared Smith, which we'll talk more tomorrow. But definitely have some options for this weekend's visit.
And at the end of the day, it's still June. So
Exactly.
the players that decommitted today, like Terry, he might reconsider and say, hey, you know what, I made a mistake and might want to join back. Who knows? It is June with a good season, a good, showing from Coach Henny. A lot of players might want to line up and say, hey, I want to go play for that coach. So just stay positive, guys. I mean, yeah, it sucked today that we lost, or yesterday and today that we lost 2 5-stars, but those 2 players are not going to make or break our program.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously the optics are what they are. It looks bad, but we'll be just fine. We'll be all right. Promise you that. It's just a wait and see thing for a lot of these guys. Right now it's just easy to negative recruit us as far on the defensive side because it's like we don't have a proven product yet. What we've been over the past couple of years. But once we shut all that up, once we go out there and prove it, what more can you say now?
Yeah.
What can you say about this?
The next thing that they can talk about is that that's the one thing I just want fixed.
Yeah.
I mean that's the issue. I mean,
Like
going back to the West, right? We are targeting these West Coast kids. It's just,
Yeah, I mean,
right. It seems to be a better NIL package, and that's a factor of why they choose that school.
I'm just more annoyed based off that their stupid statement that they put out, and then we're hearing the complete opposite.
Yeah,
what thing are you talking about?
They put out a whole statement saying that we're going to start paying high school players.
Okay, I get you.
So that's what I'm saying. Don't lie to us.
Yeah,
Just be real, man. Don't lie to us. I mean,
don't make us look like Florida people. Come on.
At least Clemson is transparent with theirs. They're like, hey, we're not doing it.
And they're still getting high-profile recruits.
Exactly. So
don't lie to these kids. That just sours them on us, and that just gives more. That just gives them more ammo, at least to other schools, to say against us.
Exactly.
So what we need to do is get Kendrick and all these rappers to start donating.
Yeah. Not likely.
Fred, I don't even think
Tax
we're
right
not
out.
even in the bidding war. They're not outbidding us. They're just bidding, and we're not even trying to bid at this point.
Yeah, it ain't too much of a war.
So,
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, that's the only thing keeping them relevant. To be quite frank with you, it's just that.
Yeah.
Once we fix NIL, like I said, we got to show love to California talent. It might be a down year this year, but we still got to start developing that pipeline, because once we start producing a good program on the field and a winning program, it's going to be really tough for other schools to start, stealing that local talent. And as you guys know, California is the top producer for talent. And we just got to, keep showing love to California talent. There might be a few, diamond in the rough players out there that are not being highly recruited, like Zamorano, right? And we might have dropped the ball with him, right? We pushed out his visit, and I don't know the ins and outs behind that, or whether we did it or he did it, but that's a player that we could have had if we showed him a lot more love in the beginning, and
who you
just
talking about?
LaRue, Zamorano, the cornerback or safety. What is he? He's a secondary for sure, though.
Yeah, he's 20, plays ball.
Yeah, so I don't know, and I can't remember, but was Mason Graham a top highly recruited D lineman?
I think he was 3 stars.
So,
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's players out here with the right coaching staff that could be developed, that are underrated. I mean, as you guys know, a lot of these recruiting websites underrate a lot of West Coast kids because they think that West Coast kids are soft, man. That's not the case.
He was a low 4-star,
Oh,
but
dude.
still
So low 4-star. So he
yeah. Well, what was the kid from TCU that we were trying to get transferred? That's from here.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He's
Demonic. Yep.
Dominic.
Yeah, same he is. Yeah,
You know what I'm
exactly.
saying?
That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of talent out here that might need a year or two to develop, but they're there.
Like I said, that's really the difference between 5 stars, 4 stars, and 3 stars, right? It's just maturity, body maturity, or you know what I mean. Your 5 stars usually look like grown men already.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And but at the end of the day, these are kids. You know what I'm saying? Some people grow a little more, than others at that age. So it's just an eye test, a lot of it. You know what I mean? But once they all come into their man bodies, that's when you get to see like what they really are. You know what I mean?
Yep. And that's all. And like I said, that's why I see coaching trumps everything. Like I said, Utah kicked our butt the last couple of years, so I don't hate the fan base or anything like that, but they have good coaching, and they've learned to develop a lot of their players, and that's why they've been putting a good product on the field.
Yep. So for the local guys, man, you guys know.
Yep.
I've talked about this with USCJ. We definitely need to start recruiting the inner city again. I don't know why we don't do that anymore. There's always talent in the inner city.
A ton.
Inglewood definitely always has talent. You know what I mean?
Crenshaw, Dorsey, and what's the other school at? I can't remember. They got like green jerseys.
Sarah?
No, it's like also inner city. It's considered inner city. I can't remember. Not Narbonne. It's it might even be inner city, but it's a little bit more towards the valley. But they've always
Green jerseys.
I think it's green jerseys, unless I'm confusing us. When I was back in high school, they used to put a good product on the field. It's actually they're yellow jerseys with blue, I think. It's not Dorsey though, or Crenshaw. Oh no, Dorsey's green, but Crenshaw's
Blue and what?
blue, and I can't think of their name right now. But there's a ton of schools out here in the inner city and then out surrounding areas, other than Mater Dei, and those schools that put up, have good talent, just not being highly recruited.
Exactly. I mean, it's not like in our day. I mean, obviously, a lot of these kids go to private schools and get bussed out and everything. It's not powerhouses that were in our day are not.
They're not there anymore for sure.
Are you talking about De La Salle?
Nah, it was more like in the valley area, I think, kind of like on that side.
Talking about Birmingham?
Birmingham, there you go.
No, they're blue and gold. But
The blue and gold? Yeah, okay.
I don't recall we ever recruited from them that much.
Yeah,
Birmingham put up solid talent at the time when I was in school.
Yeah, that was an art day.
How long ago was that?
That was 2008.
Yeah,
That was a long time ago.
I remember they had some top talent at the time.
So, really quick here, let's talk about what Carter's saying. Can we keep Juju Lewis?
that is the question, Carter. That
Wow.
is the question.
It's gonna, yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows? If
I
it's
have
gonna
two
be
answers.
NIL related,
Yeah.
I don't think he's NIL related, but I just think he wants to not have to pull a Caleb Williams and have to win the game for the offense all the time.
If we keeping it all the way funky, man, if I'm gonna tell y'all 100% true, I think it does come down to NIL, and I think that is the reason why he hasn't shut things down yet. Because
And now that what we're hearing about other NIL, what
Exactly.
makes us think that he got signed?
yeah, so I mean, it seems like he's waiting on us to get our stuff together.
Yeah, I mean that was the talk of yesterday's Elite 11. Supposedly Auburn has a very nice package for him if he were to, flip and voice it. So we'll see. I mean, from what the insiders have always said in the past in the offseason is that we would be able to compete with most of these collectives when it came down to Juju Lewis for NIL. But I mean, honestly, I don't think so. I don't know if we will keep him. And it does make me nervous to that he is a commit right now from an optic standpoint, perception, and hopefully Longstreet is willing to stay home. Maybe I don't know.
I mean, this is my prediction. I think he stays, and depending on how they perform, he may either flip next year because nowadays it's only a 1 year rental. So I think our NIL package that we are able to offer him, especially without having Terry and Gibson, we have more money to offer him now, if anything. So I think we'll be able to keep him, put a competitive NIL package. Might not be the biggest, and ultimately, his main focus is development. And what other better quarter or coach to develop him for the league?
Yeah, and he knows that. He said it over and over.
Oh, yeah, everyone knows that. Everyone knows that Lincoln Riley will develop QBs.
So, yeah,
And the thing about it is, I think House of Victory is probably more like concerned about paying a quarterback. Probably, like I think if they were going to put their money somewhere, it probably would be a quarterback. If they were to put money somewhere, they probably don't want to put it for a defensive line for some reason or whatever. But I think they are trying to keep. Like we don't hear much about like other players like talking behind the scenes about NIL, but then when it comes to Juju Lewis, we hear all about it being NIL, that he's having conversations with the House of Victory or whatever for NIL. We don't hear that about other players, but we hear about Juju Lewis. I think they're more worried about him than anything else.
Right.
And then I think his dad's a smart guy. I think he'll look at the big picture. If he wanted to flip already, I think he would have decommitted and say, all right, my recruiting is 100% open.
Right.
If it was strictly driven by NIL. So I think his dad's a smart man. He's playing his cards right, try to get as much as he can in terms of an NIL package with USC. I think he ultimately stays, looks at the big picture. No one out there is better than Coach Lincoln Riley when it comes to developing quarterbacks. And, I think that'll be the deciding factor.
Yeah,
I think the deciding factor is if he knows that we're going to have a decent defense next year.
Which we will. That I'm confident that we will have.
Listen, by the time that Juju steps on the field, I fully expect our defense to be elite.
Yeah.
At the pace that we're going right now, if we can.
Well, like what we were talking about, like what if the coaches don't decide to stay?
But we've proven that we're willing to hire, make the right hires.
Yeah, but will they want to come to us if their recruiting efforts are in vain?
Okay, that is something to talk about. That you're right. You're right. I mean, if the other half ain't getting their job done, it's gonna be hard for any coach to even want to be around.
Yeah, like anyone's going to let Coach Henney in their house and talk to them and tell them how they're going to be great and how he's going to coach them up. And then if some NIL is a part of it, then he's pulling his weight, but how's the victory pulling their weight?
Yeah, so it's like, I mean, will the coaching job even be something that anybody wants? Just like, might be like the Lakers.
Yeah, like I can guarantee that other colleges, like who are going to try to poach Coach Henny, they're like, hey, our NIL is doing something. You're not going to have to worry about NIL being an issue for you losing players.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that we're doing right is at least we're paying coaches.
Yeah.
So I'm not too concerned about that. Money talks at the end of the day. Look at these players. I can't recruit that, so what? I'm getting paid this much. I'm just going to join you.
I think USCJ is answering your question about the high school. Was it Long Beach?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering too.
No,
if you were
it was
meaning
Paul.
Long Beach.
I knew Pauly was green, but it was Birmingham, and
That's what I thought.
it is blue. It is gold and blue, right? Too. Yeah.
Yeah, he was saying closer to the valley. That's why I knew he wasn't talking about the public.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's like, don't panic, guys. Like us, we're not panicking. It's a little disappointing to see, but
yeah, the sky's not falling, man. Don't listen. Of course, the narrative will be that the sky is falling for USC.
Yeah.
They've been waiting on this forever just to say that. You know what I mean? They've been waiting on this to happen and pretty much, pushing that narrative, pushing the narrative already for this to happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure that has something to do with it too. But yeah, don't. We know not to listen to the national media, man. We know as USC fans that they're never going to be on our side.
Yeah.
So don't even worry.
Just don't take it out on the coaches. Don't start saying Coach Henny is not recruiting, or don't say any of that stuff. If anything, take it out on HOV. So.
No,
I really can't stand those speaking coaches is, to be honest, the hate that Lincoln gets. I don't know. Just lately, it's kind of irked me. Like maybe in the past, I've kind of just let it go, in 1 year out the other and whatnot. But I mean, the guy has averaged 10 wins a season. Like I don't know. Like I mean, you still got to win these ball games regardless of what conference you play.
One time,
So, and you know why we only got that many wins. We know the reason why. That reason is no longer here. So
exactly,
we'll be all right.
Yeah, it's puzzling with the whole SEC stuff. I get it. It's humor. It's funny. It's great. But what are we gonna say when he does beat LSU September 1st or September 2nd, whatever the day is? So,
they're going to try to find some other things.
yeah, they'll just move the post as always, right? They'll change it up, but it's going to be funny though when people have to start backtracking. Oh, maybe he's not afraid of SEC all of a sudden. So
they're going to say that LSU is down and they have a bad team.
Probably.
I could already see it.
Yeah. They're 2 first-round tackles that they have. They're down. Yep, exactly.
Yeah, they're never going to like us. We already know that. So.
Yeah. So I don't know. This year, I already put my money on these bets. I truly believe on this staff. So.
Yep, that's easy money, man. So.
It is. It's gonna pay for my Vegas trip. So.
There you go.
I'm
and
good.
David, you're right.
Yeah,
I mean, he did keep Grinch on staff for a whole year, and definitely wasted it. No one is definitely disagreeing that. I'd say
we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be here if he would have just brought the right defensive coordinator from the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that's exactly why he's getting the heat that he's getting right now. Because
for sure,
that's the worst coaching decision he's ever made.
Yeah, I mean, he's fumbled the probably arguably the best roster he ever had last year. You know what I'm saying? So by keeping Grinch on, that set us back a little bit. You know what I mean? So now we're dealing with it. It made it easier for us to be negative recruited.
Our roster last year was easily a 9+ win, like 9 to 10 wins if we had the right defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Well, there was a number of our O-line was still our O-line too. So
yeah, Jordan says, "Is USC a playoff contender?" Yes,
Yes.
we are. As long as we stay healthy, we're easily a playoff.
We'll be in the race. We'll be in the
We're
race.
we're very underrated right now, which is all right. It's only going to be sweeter when we surprise everyone that
So
we have a good defense.
think about this: in the LSU, Michigan, Penn State, and Notre Dame, all they have to go is 2-2 versus those four teams and sweep the rest of the games. You're 10-2. Like it's not a bad way to look at it. Those are the four biggest opponents. Obviously, if you can go 2-2, 500 ball. I mean,
Who is it? It's LSU, which is a neutral site. I like our
Nope.
chances there. Michigan, a little bit of a down year at Michigan, so that one's still tough regardless.
Right.
Notre Dame is going to be at the Coliseum, which I feel more than
And Penn
capable
State
that.
as well.
Yep, and Penn State. So I like our chances. I don't.
Yep.
Like I said, I see us winning at least a floor of nine wins. I feel like
Yep.
scenario, as long as we stay healthy.
Listen, Jordan, your offense, Ohio State's offense, is the only offense that's even comparable to ours. And you guys have been tearing up the league, right? For the most part, I mean, except for Michigan. But
Michigan.
yeah, so I really think. I mean, Tim Pringley said it. Tim and I always pretty much agree. But he said it, man. He was like, "What offenses have these teams seen outside of Ohio State?" You know what I mean?
Right.
I think that the Big Ten is going to have a harder time adjusting to these Pac teams than we are then. I said that months ago when we talked about it. But, you know what I mean? But I think we're going to be all right, man. I think a lot of these Big Ten teams are going to be surprised at what the Pac teams bring. It's I think the adjustment will be harder for them to adjust our style of play than ours to them. I mean, defending a pro style offense is not very hard anymore. I mean, that's been figured out, especially when you have a coach that comes from the pros, a defensive coordinator that comes from the pros. You know what I mean? But the spread offense is something that hasn't been seen very much in the Big Ten, right? Outside of Ohio State. And then you add Lincoln Riley's spread offense, which is top tier. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, man, we're going to do a lot better than people think, Jordan. I'm telling you. If you want to make some easy money, Jordan, go ahead and put that bet in for the over, man. That's
over wins. They have us at 7.5. That's no way we don't win over 8.
I'm curious if it moved. Let's see.
Yeah. Do we have anything else that we need to cover at this point?
So,
Well,
do we have anything else that we need to cover?
we'll be here tomorrow. We got to say something for tomorrow. You got everything that's going on. We do have recruits on campus this weekend, so we'll be giving you that the breakdown on that tomorrow, same time. So before we even get out of here, though, make sure you hit that like button, and if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button, and go ahead and check out our membership pages, man. Go ahead.
And Jordan, lastly, we don't play Iowa this year, so we'll be all right. We got a whole year to figure it out.
Well, Iowa has to score too. Our offense is, we average quite a bit. Iowa is not just this unstoppable, defense that just never gives up any points. So last time I checked, it's the team with the most points wins the game, right?
Yeah.
Iowa doesn't score very many. We do. So we'll be all right.
We'll be all right.
Yeah. But yeah, we have nothing else for you guys today.
No, just look forward to tomorrow. Hope you guys are still here and chatting up with us as we talk about the potential future Trojans. So
that's enough of our rant, man. We'll get off our soapbox. We'll pack it up and give you some more tomorrow, man. We'll give a breakdown of things to come for us. So with that being said, we are going to get out of here.
Bye.
I don't.
Bye.